All right, good people. We in the building for another episode. Play Caller Sports Talk. It's not live; it's recorded. So if you dropping stuff in the comments, we're not seeing it live, but we checking things out. As I always tell y'all, good people, it's your boy Cool McCain. I am joined this week by big bro Chris Bass, OG in the sports talk game. So you gotta make sure you got the right people on with you, so you can have quality broadcast. This gentleman right here is gonna make sure I don't mess up too much for y'all. What's going on, big bro?
Man, how you doing, little bro? Good to see you, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I got to be honest, man. I was excited about doing this one all week because I knew this one was gonna be fun.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel the same. It's one of those things we look forward to it, and it's going to be, you're going to go in there and do damage and make it do what it do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all know we don't really do the intro. We just get into it. It's like a long conversation about sports. Feel free to chime in yourself. Feel free to reach out to me, at Cool McCain on Facebook, at Cool_McCain on Instagram, at Cool McCain on formerly known as Twitter, because I ain't doing that whole X mess, formerly known as Twitter. And drop me a line. Let me know how you feel, something you want us to talk about, all that good stuff. We into it. Love to be interactive, even though it's no longer a live show. So some people have asked, why don't I do a live show anymore? That's a wonderful question. So the answer to that is it allows more flexibility. So it allows me to get the guys that I'd like to do the show with and be able to sit down with them and have a conversation about sports with, rough draft of topics. Where if I box myself into 8 to 9:30-ish on Friday night, then I don't have the ability to have some of the guys I really wanted on with me. So recording gives us a chance to be able to make it happen and get y'all the best product. Your boy been here since day one. My original co-host is no longer with the show, but hey, nothing but love. But now we're going in a different direction. As you can see, background, all that, it's changing. It's going in a different direction, but you're going to still love it. You might even love it more. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and slide into our first set of topics here. If you've been watching, y'all know we always start off with NCAA football. There are some news pieces we could talk about, but at the end of the day, there's so many outlets and so much coverage on who's injured, who's not, who's playing, who's about to get fired, who's on the hot seat. We're going to leave it to those people who want to focus on those things. What we're going to give you right here, we're just going to talk about some of the games from last week, some of the shocking surprises, some of the blowouts, and then we'll also pick the games for the upcoming week. Time of recording, the Thursday game has already been completed, so won't really talk about that, but we will be moving into all the top 25 games that are going to be happening, starting with the Friday night Florida State game, but not there yet. So a couple of the, I feel like, interesting games. TCU had a 35-24 win over SMU. What's interesting about that to me is SMU is one of those teams that I'm a big ACC fan. You're not doing your job. You were supposed to be a value add. You're supposed to be someone who's going to help the conference, build up itself. And a lot of technical tests have determined that was a big lie. Because SMU, you're not getting a job done. Another team that's not getting a job done that we didn't even talk about today, because you have to be the top 25 or play a top 25 team, is Clemson. Thank you for nothing, Clemson. Thank you for absolutely nothing. As a member of the ACC, you have done nothing to help the league this year. Great job, but more eyes are on us than ever. I digress. I'm digressing. So blowouts. We had a couple blowouts. So number 15, Tennessee beat UAB 56-24. Oregon manhandled Oregon State 41-7. And then Florida State beat up on Kent State. So 66-10. So I was talking to one of my friends. She follows sports a little bit, but she's not like too much into sports. So she said, you sports who is Kentucky State? I said, oh, it's not Kentucky State. It's Kent State. It's like a small school. And she was like, well, why is Florida State playing this small school and beating them down like that instead of playing somebody else would be more of a challenge? And I'm sitting there thinking, that's a great question. A lot of teams do it. Hey, bro, any thoughts on any of these games I just mentioned so far?
The last game you mentioned about your friend and small school, big school, and everything else. That's always been happening, in sports in general. When we talk about college sports, say, of course, basketball, football, and first of all, it's a way for the colleges to make money when you have a bigger team and a bigger name, and then it really is a test to the smaller team to see if they can come through. And so you have to test their mettle, you have to test their endurance, because they may run up against a team that's better than them. So you have to test them in some way, shape, or form. So just the fact that you got your gas handed to you, but you'll go back to the lab and do better. So yes, I'm all for over the years, or whether it's football or basketball in particular, when you see a bigger school and a small school. The great thing about that, and especially in basketball, college basketball, when we get to March Madness, these smaller schools step up. So many smaller schools, and when you have these big upsets. So yeah, get their training in, and the same with football. Get their training because they need it.
Yeah, and I did explain to her that the reason that they do that is because that allows those small schools like Kent State, A&T here in this area, and so many other smaller schools. When they're playing those bigger schools, they're getting a fat check for getting slaughtered. So they're not just getting slaughtered; they're getting paid to get slaughtered. So, that's helping them have an athletic program. A lot of these schools, they have a lot of sports that if they didn't play these games in football, they may not actually be a sport for that school. So I kind of explained that to her, and she was like, "Oh, okay." So I was like, "Yeah, that's why you'll see a lot of these small schools play like two of these bigger schools, and they normally get eviscerated, but that bank account for the school goes up quite a bit for sports. So it definitely makes sense." And she understood once I was able to explain that to her. But I just thought it was very interesting that, someone who kind of follows sports, but not too much into sports, just like, well, why are they doing that? And then once I explained it to her, she's like, oh, so it's a lot more like behind the scenes and business and stuff with that. I said, absolutely. People don't kind of think about that sometimes. I know we chide some of these schools when they play the lower schools. We kind of like, they going out, Florida State playing Kent State, and, Ole Miss, Tulane and different schools, Tennessee playing UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. But these small schools end up getting cash compensation in a nice amount. So that helps them have a program, that helps them with NIL, that helps them fund some of the sports like bowling, soccer, some schools baseball that may not generate their money themselves. So they are helping the rest of the program while they're catching those beatdowns.
Well, let me say this as well, little bro. I'm happy for the NIL.
Oh yeah.
When I went years ago, for example, it used to be a sports catalog called East Bay. It was based out of Wisconsin.
Yes.
And you would get all this nice, fits, shoes, equipment, jerseys. I mean, they were really on top. That was like my point. So I wear a size 13. And it's hard for me to get a size 13 when I was younger, especially in my 20s. And I can't get aside from my, good shoe. But it came like a sports shoe. They've always had a 13. And I was like, that's rare at that time. So we're talking about like late 90s and early 2000s. So I was very keen on that. And I remember looking in the jersey section, and I saw football jerseys and basketball jerseys with, of course, the name and the number of the athletic player, but they never got paid. Never got paid. So I get in the argument. I'm in the argument with people, but I'll argue with a couple of old ends back in the day. We became old ends. We were young ends back then. And so Y ends as that as well. So the thing about it was like, I remember there was one guy I got into a conversation with. He was saying that, well, they should not get paid because they got a 4-year scholarship, they got a free ride, and that's that. I said, yeah, but not everybody's going to make it to the NFL. Not everybody's going to make it to the NBA and such forth. So pay them while they're there. It's a business. Back in the day, and still, the college coach or NBA coach, basketball coach, football coach at a college university will get their salary, will get paid from the apparel, say it was, I don't know, and one back in the day, or someone like Reebok or someone like Nike back in the day. Now we got, of course, these new companies coming in. Reebok's trying to trying to rebrand themselves. And I don't know, man. It's enough money to go around. And the colleges that are being greedy with at the time is like, you pay these players, it won't even affect you at all. It won't make a dent. That's how much money you're making. Radio, TV, now the internet has made a play into it and everything else. So my point of all this has been, pay these people. Pay them. Because it's a business. And you want to justify it from an educational standpoint, okay, pay them and then have them take like a mandatory course in financing. Something like that. That way you could justify the payment. But see, you don't have to now because of NIL, but back then before that, my thing was that everybody got paid under the table.
Right.
That's all it was. So everybody got paid. Everybody got a little tasty taste. So all you got to do now is the standpoint of, this is a business, first and foremost. Let the players understand that. Let the players go through that, because they need that for the elite players who are about to become professional down the road.
Yeah. One of the things that was always really important back in the day was the college basketball and college football games, right? And they stopped doing those because they got sued. And they got sued because players were like, hey, you're using our likeness and name, you're not paying us. And it became a big thing about, oh, you know, should players be paid? So they just stopped doing the games. So those games are coming back. There's been settlements. Guys are getting paid. Ed and Charles O'Bannon, if you remember them, they used to play for UCLA, were like on this from the beginning. They were touting this years ago.
Yep.
So NIL definitely for me was a plus. So there was a time where I was like, well, you know, they get the scholarship, you know, so they get the free school or whatever. So maybe that's enough. But then, like you said, I really thought about it and said, a lot of these guys are already getting paid anyway. So why not make it where it can be monitored and not just, you know, 3 people getting paid and everybody else out there playing and getting nothing. So I do like the spirit, or the thought behind NIL. I think the thing for me is how it's managed at different places. There should be some uniformity. Like there are schools like, you know, Miami, where they say, hey, come play for the team, you get part of the NIL money, right, for the football team.
Right.
There's other places where they say, you know, only certain people get it. You have to be this, you have to do that, whatever. I think it should be uniform. I think if you're on the team, you should get a cut of the NIL money. But there should be players that are definitely getting the bigger amount if they're more important to the success of the team.
Yes.
Quarterback, play a quarterback more. Yeah. Top wide receiver is probably going to go to the NFL. Could you pay him more? Yeah, but ask yourself, a guy that's already going to get millions in the NFL and probably has insurance on his body already, does he need more money more than the guy who's probably never going to make it to the NFL? Those guys should be getting some benefits from being part of this too. And I think for me, that's a big thing that I look at. Like, what about the guys who are playing college sports are not going to make it to the NFL?
Right.
You know, or not going to make it to the NBA, or not going to make it to Major League Baseball, or whatever.
Right.
So those guys being able to get, you know, some money in college and use that money, like you said, to help better themselves is a good thing.
Yes.
I do like what you said about the finance course. I think athletes, that should be mandatory, a finance course on how to use your NIL money, how to invest in different things so that they can turn that money into something that can help them, even if they end up not being an athlete down the road, or you end up getting injured, or you end up just washing out and not being as good as you thought. Because there's so many of these guys that we thought were going to be good that are not good. You know, it happens every year. We talk about it all the time.
You're correct. And the other thing about the future, because not everybody's going to make it, like we said before, and then you may have some people who may play athleticism or play athletics in college, but then what happens after that? You have to have another plan, a backup plan. And so you said before about the NIL money, everybody should get paid. Like, you're right. Do it in tiers. It's a tier system. If you're up here and you're winning stuff like that, football and the quarterback, that money, running backs, receivers, things like that. Same with defense, defensive backs, blah, blah, blah. And you go in a tier order from that perspective. Same with basketball. So you can do it, and I'm glad they're doing it now, but there's a way to do it if you want to. So again, going back to the colleges and universities, once again, they made it into a business. So make it a business and just be upfront with it. Now it is open, but Be more acceptive of it.
Yeah.
It's like being greedy. Like I said before, the money that they're getting, the university is not making a dent. So how much are they making? Same with the NFL owners.
Yeah.
And they pay all these massive contracts. How much are they really getting? You're about upwards
Right.
into the billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So just be fair across the board. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I could definitely rock with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have a big bro Chris Brace on here, because we start digging into other things and give you some other perspectives, and that's important. Because, like I said, reading off who won, who did this, that's cool, but you get that anywhere. So there's reasons why you should be watching this particular show, especially every fourth week, every fourth Friday. So yeah, we had a couple of other people might call like blowouts, upsets, or whatever. Michigan did hang in there and beat Nebraska in a close game. Notre Dame finally found a team that they needed to handle. Teams in the ACC that are actually doing their job. So there's 3 right now. I'm gonna give y'all a quick scenario. Number 16, Georgia Tech won 45-24 over Temple. Miami now number 2. Handled business in their game against Florida 26-7. And in Florida State. So I want people to think about it like this for the ACC. And I'm an ACC guy, so I'm gonna break that down a little bit more in the other conferences. Y'all can go somewhere else and hear the deep stuff on the other conferences. Y'all know what it is over here. So Georgia Tech, all they have to do is handle their business, and they're going to be in the ACC championship game. What do you mean, cool? How are you already talking about the championship game and 4 weeks into the season? Put y'all down on game. In the ACC, they have an unbalanced schedule. You have a certain rivalry that you play every year, and then you play everybody every other year. Besides your rival. And then, of course, you play Notre Dame every other year because they're not officially a member of the ACC in football, but they are in every other sport. So Georgia Tech doesn't have to play Florida State or Miami this year. The rest of their schedule after the Clemson win is all winnable games. So if they handle their business and win those games they're supposed to win, they may not have a loss in the ACC. If they go undefeated in the ACC, they're going to be in a championship game. Why would you say? Well, how do you know they're going to be in the championship game if they go undefeated? Because Florida State and Miami play next week, meaning one of them have to lose. So if one of those teams has a ACC loss and Georgia Tech does not have one, and then the other team goes undefeated as well, whoever wins Florida State and Miami and Georgia Tech are going to be in the ACC championship game. Now, best case scenario, whoever loses Florida State and Miami wins out. They're still going to be in the playoff because you're not going to get punished if you're number 2 Miami and you lose to what'll probably be 5 or 6 Florida State if they take care of business this weekend. In that matchup, you're not going to drop too much. Georgia Tech's going to get in. The winner automatically gets in. So if Florida State and Miami, the loser continues to win every other game, and the winner wins every game besides maybe losing to Georgia Tech in the ACC championship game, possibly, all 3 teams can get in. And if Georgia Tech loses to an undefeated team that also beat Miami or Florida State, they'll probably still get in if that's their only loss. So there are ways where we are guaranteed to get 3 teams in right now. But again, everyone's got to handle their business. And when you got these other teams that's out here playing and not doing anything anymore, it kind of feels like unless Virginia goes in here and blows things up, or with this game against Florida State that we'll talk about in a minute, we're going to be looking at everybody handling their business. 3 teams definitely are getting into the playoffs from ACC. And that's not something that most people would have had on their Ouija board to begin the season. And then there were 3 other blowouts real quick. Texas played Sam Houston. They won 55-0. They ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're not. Vanderbilt played Georgia State, and they won 70-21. And then LSU played Southeast Louisiana, and they won 56-10. When I first saw it, y'all, in my mind, I don't know if I'm a big Waterboy fan. So when I saw Southeast Louisiana, in my mind, I saw a small corner Louisiana. I was like, bruh, stop playing. But yeah, it was Southeast. So some good games this past weekend, but a lot of interesting games coming up this coming weekend. Top 25 implications. Of course, some teams are going to be off on buys, so we won't be talking about everybody. But we're just going to go in order from the NCAA site. Sometimes it gives it to me by time. Sometimes it does what's doing now, just give you whatever it wants to. So it's all good. Work with it either way. All right, so the first game that we're going to pick here, we've got number 8 Florida State traveling to Virginia to play the Virginia Cavaliers, and it's going to be Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. So this game will be happening while you're watching the show. Base, who you got winning this game between number 8 Florida State and Virginia?
Ooh, I like Florida State for some reason. I've seen them play a couple of times, and like I said before, I'm a novice, but I put eyeballs on the screen. I like their play because despite just obviously football things are going to happen every now and again. I haven't seen too much of the Cavaliers for Virginia, but I'm gonna go with Florida State. I mean, I'm just gonna go with that. I've seen them before. I have not seen Virginia, so I'm gonna go with Florida State.
Fair enough. I'm also gonna go Florida State with you. They're a top 10 team in the country right now. They're on a hot streak. Now they haven't played many difficult games yet, but that's kind of how you do to build up your ranking, and then you start to get into the meat and potatoes of your schedule, which is your conference.
Mm-hmm.
So Virginia is one of those teams that they don't have the talent that Florida State has, top to bottom, but they always play Florida State well. Florida State has 2 teams that always play them well, and that's NC State and Virginia. And you might want to say Miami, but this year they'll play each other well because they're both ranked. But Florida State and Miami have had a couple of years where one sucks and the other one's decent, or one's decent and the other one's really good. So this is going to be a good matchup in the future too. But this week, Virginia is going to test them, I think. But I am also agreeing with you, Big Bro. I am going with Florida State as well. Also, tonight at 9 p.m., so probably near the end of the show, number 24 TCU is going to travel to Arizona to play Arizona State. I'm going to go with number 24 TCU in this matchup. I believe that Arizona State early in the season, and they let me down every time. So my belief in you, Arizona State, is done. You're losing because you had opportunities and you never wanted to win. Now I don't believe you anymore.
I go with, look, I'm following your lead, Doc. I go along with that. I think real quick, just about as we continue on, it's amazing the joy that we get from talking about sports and the back and forth, the rivalries and things like that. So I can hear it from you. I can see it in your face. How much it's like. Well, Arizona State, you pretty much, we did pretty much done. So look, man, I'm rock and roll with you. So yeah, I'm going with you, Doc.
All right. Then we got tomorrow at noon. We've got a top 25 matchup. These are always pretty good, hard to predict. But number 21 USC is traveling to Champaign, Illinois, to play number 23 Illinois. This is one of the ones I look at and say, I don't know. I'm going to actually go with Illinois in this game. I think it's a 50-50 to be honest, but I'm going to go with Illinois. USC's been having some troubles, coaches and situations and different things. And you sometimes come up and have like a good game or two when things happen. And you kind of go back to the medium of what you really are. So I'm going to go with Illinois in this game. And you know me, the thing about me is I don't have no problem being wrong, right? I've been wrong a lot, sometimes pleasantly so. Sometimes I think this team is going to win, but I really want the other team to win, and the team that I wanted to win won, but I thought the other team was going to win. So, hey, I'm good with that. But, yeah, I'm going to roll with Illinois in this one. The Fighting Illini to go ahead and take care of USC. And plus the Illini are at home.
Yeah, well, that's my home state, so I can't go against my home state. I mean, coming from Chicago, I got a cousin of mine, more like a brother. My brother and cousin Alan, he
Yep.
went to University of Illinois down there in Champaign. I know a friend of mine named Lisa who was from Champaign. So yeah, well, I'm all connected to that. So I'm all for Illinois. Looking at their record real quick, so they're 3-1, and SC is 4-1. So I'm sorry, 4-0. Even though, like I said before, I don't really have a dog in the fight. Like I said before, I don't mind being wrong like you, but I can't go against my home state. So I'm gonna go with Illinois on this one.
Definitely makes sense. And then we got number 22 Notre Dame uh, going to Arkansas to play the Razorbacks. This is also a noon game on Saturday. I'm going Notre Dame. They had a couple of tough losses at the beginning of the year against Miami, as well as another loss. So they've got a couple of losses. They kind of got to get it together. They still ranked now. They're ranked now, but it's a dire time for Notre Dame. Notre Dame has to win games. Notre Dame cannot afford to lose another game. They are independent, so they're not a, they don't have a conference championship game if they have 2-3 losses to get them into the playoffs. So Notre Dame's in a dire situation. They're in playoff mode already. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame over to Arkansas, and of course I like SEC teams to lose. I've got a little bias there. I'll admit it.
Well, nothing wrong with admitting that. Every time I see, as an example, Notre Dame when they play on NBC, I always say NBC stands for Notre Dame Broadcasting Network, broadcasting company. So yeah, they always on. And so I get a kick out of that just in general. But Notre
Yeah.
Dame, of course, Indiana, right next door to here in Illinois. I don't mind seeing them lose because again, once again, it's like one of those things where once again, know people who win in Notre Dame and stuff like that. But some people from Notre Dame got their ass on their shoulders. The people I've met over time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it. There's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, you got your ass on your shoulder. I'm not rock and roll with that. So just out of spite, that alone, I'm gonna go with Arkansas. just out of that alone.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it. I
Yeah,
am not
yeah.
mad at it. I'm not mad at it. All right, then we got also at noon tomorrow, another ACC matchup. We got number 16 Georgia Tech going to play Wake Forest. I'm not even going to give y'all explanation. Y'all should understand it. Georgia Tech. That's what I'm saying. Georgia Tech. We got base.
Georgia Tech. They can make it 5-0 over there. They're lucky because right now
Right.
they're 4-0, and Wake Forest is 2-1. Sometimes you can't stop the shining. You can't stop the momentum that a team has. So yeah, Georgia Tech all the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, then we got Utah State traveling to play number 18 Vanderbilt. I will give Vanderbilt their props. No one saw this coming. No one saw them creeping into the top 20, top 25, nonetheless top 20. But they're there. We should have known last year they had a big win over Alabama that kind of got them in the news, got people paying attention to them, and they just continue to build off that. So I'm definitely they should beat Utah State, especially how Vanderbilt's playing right now. So I'm definitely going to roll with Vanderbilt, and they get to be at home.
Something about being at home in general. Don't get me wrong, you could lose at home, but if
Mm-hmm.
you, it's not like the feel of the game. I mean by that is as an observer, as a fan, as a participant, and even people who are on the field or court, the situation, the field, when you have that edge, being at home. So yeah, I think Vanderbilt will go all the way with it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, then starting the 3:30 p.m. games on Saturday, we have Auburn traveling to number 9 Texas A&M. Texas A&M should handle business in this game. There's got to be at least one upset, but I don't believe Auburn is going to upset Texas A&M. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. And if I'm wrong, like I said, that's fine with me. But I don't see that happening. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M. Who you got, base?
I'm gonna go with Auburn on this
Okay.
one. I think again, look at their records. All these teams: Texas A&M 3-0, and Auburn being 3-1. Now, I'm going with Texas A&M. Once again, it's only a fan perspective. I don't go into the stats too much. Not really a stat person, just eyeball on the screen. I know people are like, how can we have any stats? I don't do stats. But what I do look at is performance and endurance and what the team brings on the field in this situation. So uh, I like Auburn. Or I wasn't never an Auburn fan. Only when I started to watch Auburn, to be honest with you, was the Charles Barkley. Because Charles Barkley used to play for Auburn back in the day. I never even heard of Auburn before until I saw Barkley playing today. Then afterwards, I would hear about other players, of course, that played in other sports, football, baseball, basketball, stuff like that. Bo Jackson, for example, Frank Thomas played baseball there. So again, because really those three that Mount Rushmore, I started to watch Auburn. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to go with Auburn.
Fair enough. All right, then we have number 1 Ohio State traveling to play Washington. This should be a bloodbath, to be honest with you. I'm going Ohio State.
Yeah, that's not even fair. I mean, Ohio State is just run wreck shop. I mean, and again, when you look at their lineup of what they've been producing really great players over the years in the drafts, but just the fact that they're able to be that consistent. And once again, as we go through these teams, it ain't easy to be cheesy. It ain't easy to get all this stuff up and running and having a team that's consistent, a coaching staff, and a head coach himself making this happen. So, no, they got the machine humming. And as I know people once again live in Ohio, who good friend lives in Ohio, the Ohio State University, I was told to say. So, yeah, I will go along with Ohio State. Yeah, that's not even fair.
Yeah, they be loving at the Ohio State University. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we got an interesting game here. We got Ron Keller with his LSU accent going against Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Well, so a little bit of information for you guys that'll possibly entertain at least some people. I myself am not much of a stat guy either. Stats are what they are. They could be manipulated. People used to say women lie, men lie, stats don't. But that's until ESPN decided everything's a stat. It's the first time that you've been down by 3 or more points and won in the third quarter in the 5th game of the season in your 3rd season as a head coach. Like, come on, man. Like, ESPN has just made it where they try to make everything a stat so that they can push, in my opinion, the agendas that they like to push at the times they want. But so Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating a linebacker from LSU. Ooh. And she came out and let people know that they were dating this week when they're playing each other. So, yeah, so that's going to be a fun game. And that's going to be 2 coaches that I consider them very volatile. I think I'm going to stick with LSU, even though they're on the road. But this could be this is one I'm going to put on upset alert. I'm going to pick LSU, but I'm going to put this one on upset alert. With Ole Miss on upset alert. Scott Bates.
Yeah, I'm going to go LSU too. The whole Lane Kiffin thing kind of fascinates me. Just talked about that right now with the daughter and the dating the football player. Yeah, that's dangerous. My dad used to say, "Never crap where you eat." So you don't want it can get messy because sometimes it's a little bit too close to home. And but both teams are 4-0, and which is always good. I mean, they both have swing and both momentum, but the classic somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. So yeah, I'm gonna rock and roll with you and stick with LSU.
All right, and then we have number 11 Indiana going to play Iowa. Iowa's unranked, of course. I'm gonna go Indiana in this one. I'm pretty confident that Bates is too, but I'm gonna let him tell y'all.
Well, again, neighbor next door state. I've seen a few of their games and just them over the years. Indiana right now 4-0, Iowa 3-1. I will go with Indiana, and again about consistency is the key thing. We look at these teams go out when they play, no matter what time it is and again to bring that type of intensity, you love the game so much, you don't mind, of course, because the more you do it, the more you get better at it. But again, just to steamroll and to embarrass, dare I say, the other team, that's very, very possible. So it might be tough in the beginning for both teams, just of course get your feet wet and see where you are, quote unquote. But yeah, I'm gonna go on with Indiana on this one.
I feel it. Then we have number 15, Tennessee, playing Mississippi State. Tennessee's a little up and down. Mississippi State, they have their years. I don't think this is one, though. I'm going to go Tennessee in this
one. I think Mississippi State can continue to roll at 5-0. They're 4-0 now. Tennessee is 3-1. I'm always a fan of, keep pushing it. Keep driving the ball down on the person's throat. So, yeah, I will go Mississippi State on this one.
I like it. All right, then we have Arizona traveling to number 14, Iowa State. I'm going to go Iowa State in this one. I like what they've been able to do so far this year. Arizona's been having some struggles with covering, with also, maintaining the amount of points necessary to kind of handle teams on a little bit of a higher tier than them. And I think Iowa State's going to be able to handle business.
I'll go Iowa State too. The ability to, again, when you're looking at a team, and it could be, once again, just stating the obvious, day in, day out, night in, night out. But sometimes you get the feeling that one team is better than the other. I'm just stating the obvious. Once again, I'm not a stat person. But looking at how teams operate and how one really comes off better than the other one. So I'm going with Iowa State.
I dig it. Now we got another real interesting, intriguing matchup. We've got number 6 Oregon. This is a 7:30 game. Iowa State was a 7 p.m. Tennessee, Mississippi was a 4:15. I got so excited I forgot to get out of time. We got number 6 Oregon traveling to Pennsylvania.
Penn State.
Number 3 Penn State. Ooh, boy. This is a good one. Top 10 matchup. I am going to go Penn State. I'm putting this one upset alert 2 for Oregon, but I'm going to go Penn State. And the reason why I'm actually going to pick Penn State is, number one, they're at home. Oregon has to travel across. It is a later game, but still you have the home field advantage when you're at home. Also, I think Penn State is newer to being one of these top-tier teams, so you kind of want to try to establish yourself when you have opportunities. And this is a great opportunity for Penn State to show what they can do. Oregon's not going to lay down. This is going to be a top game. Whatever the betting line is, I would probably take whoever they have losing and take the points, because I think it's going to be that close. But I'm going to go with Penn State finding a way.
People, when I got the call to be on this program, I said, I got to go do some homework. I can't come in and just look stupid. I mean, I look stupid, but I got to do my homework a little bit. So I like most people, you go online and you go on television, watch these talking head shows for sports. And all I heard, like Lil Bro just said, all I heard was Penn State is going to be a premier team. Penn State is the team that could go really all the way this year. That's all I ever heard. So I never heard anything less when I was doing my notes and everything else, so being prepared for the program. But yeah, I got Penn State locked in. They're going to take it all. They could take it all for everything I've heard and did research on. But Oregon, you can't sleep on Oregon now. But you got to put in work. This is not something just to get a quick W on. You have to really put in work. Again, Penn being 3-0 and Oregon being 4-0. Yeah, this could be 4-0 for Penn State, because as far as I've read and as far as I've seen on television and internet, yeah, they're the team to beat. So, no, it's going to be Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State and Ohio State definitely have been teams that people have been talking about. I'm a big Hurricanes fan. We're number 2. We're off this week, but one of the surprising teams. And you expect surprises. You don't know who it's going to be. I didn't expect it to be Miami. And we still got a lot of season to go, but I expected it to be ranked number 2.
Mhm.
I was looking like number 2. It's been a long time since I've seen the Miami they had. When they first got the top 10, I was like, it's been a long time since I've seen them with a single-digit number by them. That wasn't the score of them playing. So happy that, looking a lot better this year. I think it started last year. I think, and I say that because I think there's a lot of parallels with Penn State. Difference is Miami kind of came out of nowhere because we didn't know what was going to happen with the quarterback that we brought in. But Penn State's one of those teams that haven't been a perennial powerhouse, but they've been building. Like the last year or two, you've kind of been talking about them. And unlike Clemson, they're actually holding up to the hype. Clemson, you're really taking me off. We needed you. The conference needed you, and you just folded like a piece of bread. Ridiculous. All right, and then we have another 7:30 game. UMass traveling to number 20 Missouri. Missouri should handle business in this game. Who you got, Mace?
I'm gonna go with Missouri as well. Once again, you got to handle your business. You got to come in there and you got to take it. You just can't be light with it, and they won't. And again, the thing is to show your talents, show your wares, show what you can do on that field. And again, the key word to me, as far as I'm concerned, be consistent. Because consistency will get there. I think there's no such thing as being perfect. Because I think you'll just, running in the wheelhouse, trying to be perfect. If you're consistent in your play on both sides of the ball, you'll get a victory.
Makes sense. Then we've got number 17, Alabama, traveling to number 5, Georgia. Now, this is probably going to be a little wild when I say this, and people probably going to look at me crazy. I don't even see this being close. Alabama's already got a couple of L's. They finally got a decent game last week, but Alabama about to be out of the top 25. I know they'd be trying to hang them on in there and keep them in there, keep them at least in the low 20s. Georgia about to dog walk Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going Alabama 2 versus Georgia. Alabama being 2-1 and Georgia being 3-0. Again, doing my research, people, the Alabama thing is intriguing because they another powerhouse. But at the same time, some people say, well, it's not what it used to be. Well, it's not supposed to be what it used to be because it's a whole different era, a whole different thing. So you can't expect everything to be the same throughout your lifetime. That goes into sports as well. So, once again, I'm looking at the TV and everything else. People are like, well, Alabama, they used to be this. Well, you just said it. They used to be. So you can't compare that to where they used to be to where they are now. Let it ride out this season and then see what's what instead of trying to, again, be comparison and contrast. Nothing wrong with that. I just think that some people probably, I'll put it like this, little bro. You have a difference between fans and fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
The fanatics go a little bit too far for me. I'm sorry. Nothing wrong with being a fan of a sport. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. You embrace it. But also people go a little bit too far. They go over that arc, over there and cross that line, and they just become nuts. I'll put it like this real quick. There's a mind-grabbing straitjacket waiting for them somewhere at some mental institution. Because they're nuts, I'm telling you. So they just lose their mind. So nothing wrong with exuberance, but goddamn, try to hold that stuff back a little bit and enjoy the game. But yeah, I'll go with Alabama, but good night. I just think that the people that I've seen on certain programs really get to a point where I don't know if common sense is common anymore. I don't think it is.
That's fair. And then we have number 25 BYU versus one of my favorite college teams to watch. I'm sure yours as well. The Colorado Buffaloes with prime time. Mr. Deion Sanders himself as Coach Prime. You know what? I'm going to go with Colorado. Colorado's been looking a little bit better. I think they've, at least for the next couple of weeks, figured out quarterback. Team looks like it's coming together a little bit. BYU, they are ranked, but they're low. They're susceptible. And I think that Colorado's going to go ahead and take the number out from behind their name so they can both be there with no number behind their name.
I'm going to go with that, too. I'm a big fan of Deion Sanders. I'm sorry, man. I just go back to the brother way back when he was doing the two-sport thing like Bo Jackson. And I had real quick, I remember the spot he did when he was signed up with Dallas. It was for Pizza Hut. And he had what's my man's name? He had the owner on there, and they were going back and forth and said, "Okay, Deion, when you play offense or defense, both." And so they're talking about two ingredients on the pizza for Pizza Hut, and so it was like, "All right, what do you want? You want 15 million, or 20 million? Which one do you want?" Both. So he'll end up getting his salary. So yeah, I rock with Deion, man. So even though Colorado's 2-2 and BYU is 3-0, don't never sleep on a Deion Sanders Colorado Buffaloes team. Don't sleep. Don't take them for granted, man. They'll sneak up on you. That's a sneaky 2-2, I think, because they'll probably run wreck shop on you when we see the game. That's tomorrow at a night game. But yeah, I don't sleep on Colorado.
Yeah, there's a 10-15 game as well. Alabama Georgia is another 7:30 game. But yeah, that BYU Colorado's a 10-15 game. So if you're still up and you're not, doing other things, it's probably going to be a really good watch, I'm going to say. So we're going to do a quick slide over here, guys, just kind of let you know what's going on with the WNBA. They are now in the playoffs. What I find interesting about it is some of the surprising teams that won in round one. So in round one, Minnesota Lynx, which was the higher team, the expected winner, did beat the Valkyries. But the Valkyries made it a good series. The Valkyries, of course, if you're like, who are the Valkyries? That's the Golden State Valkyries. That was the new team that came into the WNBA this year. So team just came into the league, made the playoffs, and actually stood up to and almost beat the Lynx. They lost 74-75 in the final game. The first game was more of a blowout, but the Valkyries have heart. They have a future, and that's going to be a really good team if they can keep it together. The shorthanded, beaten down Caitlin Clarkless Indiana Fever beat my dream 2 games in a row to win the series 2-1. Atlanta wins the first game at home and then forgot to show up for the other 2 games. And Indiana did remember to show up. So Atlanta, all I wanted, and I've said this on multiple basketball shows, people are like, what are you talking about? You just want to win a series. I understand Atlanta. I understand my team. We have not won a series with this iteration of the team. Like, there's some people on here that have won series on other teams, but as a unit, this team has not won a series in the playoffs. Second year in a row in the playoffs. This time, a top 4 team with a home seat with home court advantage, and you still go out there, and the moment's too much for you. So, gotta go back to the drawing board, Atlanta, Indiana. Good luck in the next round, because I believe you are playing the Lynx. But we'll get to that in a moment here to confirm. Las Vegas Aces with the 4-time MVP. I call her, right? If you know about the Aces, you know who I'm talking about. I call her because she is that woman. They did win 2-1 over the Storm. It was tight. It was very tight. But they did win 74-73 in the third game to advance to the next round. And then the Phoenix Mercury defeated the New York Liberty, the reigning and defending champs, 2-1. A couple of coaches got let go. The Storm's coach did not get renewed. Cindy Brondella won't be back for the Liberty. So a couple of those teams, their losses had a negative effect on the organization. All right, so that takes us to the next round of the playoffs. So Phoenix Mercury lost to the Lynx in game 1, 69-82. Beat them in game 2, 89-83. Their series is tied 1-1. The Indiana Fever did the opposite. They beat the Aces in game 1. And then the Aces routed them 90-68 in game 2. And for those of you who watch, you may wonder, well, why was there such a difference in game 1 and game 2? I'm going to keep it 100% with you. That was because our reigning and defending MVP, had 25-9-1 in the 90-68 route. She didn't have a good game in the game that they lost. And I've been telling people this all season. There are other players on this team, like, Jewel Lloyd is there, Kirsten Bell, Alyssa Smith, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Cheyenne Parker. There are other pieces on this team, but the aces live and die by her. When Asia has a bad game, you know it because they lose. And unfortunately, she did have a bad game, and they did catch an L in game 1, but they tied it up. So both series, these are 5-game series in the second round. So both series are tied 1-1. So now it's a best 2 out of 3. And both of them have games tonight. The Aces and Fever play at 7:30. The Lynx and Mercury play at 9:30. And now you can find those games on TV. All season, you couldn't really find them, but now you can find them on TV. So we'll be back. By next week, we'll be able to kind of talk about who has a commanding lead or who has won their series. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on with those games. And then they'll play again Sunday night. So they'll have at least 2 more games. So one or both of these series could be over by then, or we could be looking at game 5. So we'll see how that all rolls out. And Base, I know not really too much discussion with the WNBA. Did you want to add anything to that, big bro?
Oh, real quick. I saw the viral video of Asia Wilson receiving her MVP award, and it was really touching. It was very touching. It was very happy, and she more than deserves it. Once again, she is her, like you said before. That's what it is. And you're right. The Aces live and die by Miss Wilson. So you definitely need her. And on the side note to that, as we mentioned earlier in the conversation about NIL, the WNBA, the managers, the owners, the brass people, stop BS and pay these people. Pay these women. I was looking at Asia Wilson's salary. She's averaging $200,000 a year. 200. That's tip money for what they're really making. And so again, going on, the W has grown over the years. I've seen it grown. I know people, of course, associated with it from the standpoint of neither watching it or people that know people that are working, like somebody, stuff like that. And from ground zero, I remember when Chicago Sky first started here with their first season, and then this grew from there. So the organization has grown tremendously. Get off your butt and pay these women. It's negligence. The way I look at it, because they have grown this organization to the point where, again, it wasn't even like an afterthought. You didn't even think about the WNBA at one point. Okay, here comes the girls, or here comes the women play. I mean, that's how these ne'er-do-wells, these knucklehead men in management thought it was. It has grown. It is a great content. It is an inspiration for women and girls to achieve their dreams. These women who are star players and coaches, everything, pay them. Pay them. So that's my whole thing when I watch it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. She getting that much money, and that much money, she balling out of control. Pay them. Stop BS and pay these women.
Yeah, they offered them. I forgot the number, but a number. There was more money, but it wasn't even like 7% of the revenue. And the thing is, most leagues give you about 15%. So they're like, we at least trying to get like 10% of the revenue. Right, because what's going to happen if they don't get this together? Unrivaled is about to take over. A league started by 2 WNBA players, by the way, but they are getting other investors.
Yeah.
So WNBA, right now, a league stoppage would be terrible for you. So get it done.
Yeah.
Pay them women what they're worth. Like they said, just pay them what they're worth. They're not asking to be paid the same amount of money as NBA players, like most people try to make it out to be. What they're trying to do is get a similar percentage. They understand that they're not going to make as much because the league doesn't make as much.
Right.
But pay them a fair percentage. Get some of those things done, like getting them, instead of them having to take domestic flights, charter flights for everybody, things like that need to get done. Get these things done and help these women be ready to put on a great show. Caitlin Clark,
Absolutely.
Angel Reese, that came in last year, they brought a lot more eyes. It's going to be a lot of women coming in the next couple of years, especially one young lady from USC, Juju, when she gets that knee together, plays again, and gets right. When she gets to the WNBA, I'll tell y'all right now, she's going to be the closest thing you've seen a female to Michael Jordan.
I agree.
That woman can ball.
I agree.
She got to get over the injury. That's going to take her some time. But when she get right and she get in this WNBA, she's going to bring a lot more fans because she's
next up. She's next on. She's prime time. And this is not Deion Sanders I'm talking about. I'm talking about her version, her thing, a prime time. She's the real deal. Holyfield. I'm sorry she got injured. Class act, USC. I'm telling you, and once again, like it's NIL, you probably making more money now before you get to the WNBA. This stage thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why some of them stay in college because they make more.
Right as well. Right. They do a 5th-year senior. I wouldn't be mad at her if she did because them State Farm checks are probably pretty nice.
Oh yeah. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so just wanted to let y'all know what's going on with WNBA playoffs coming. We're gonna get to the final soon, and that's gonna be fun to see what the matchup is. I'm predicting we're gonna get the Lynx and the Aces. That's my prediction.
Yeah, makes sense. I like that.
Fun one if we get it.
Yeah, I can see that. And once again, it's good for ratings. It's good for the W. I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry.
We could have the MVP and the runner-up playing each other. That'll be fun.
Yeah. See, that's how you do it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be good to see. So go ahead and slide over to our last thing. We're gonna talk about, of course, NFL. So we're gonna do our picks, but before we do our picks, I have got to let my big bro, big Chicago Bears fan, big ups to Caleb Williams and his nails. Get him done on the sideline during the game. Whatever, you winning, do what you want to do. Hilarious, but hey, do your thing, big dog. And that win over the Dallas Cowboys. How'd that feel? Get that win.
It felt great. It felt fantastic. As a Bears fan, to see Ben Johnson coming over from Detroit and just really doing it. I mean, I'm very happy we got offensive minded. I think he's coach for Caleb Williams and the team moving forward. I'm so happy we got rid of that offensive. They kept the corners, but everybody else in the middle is brand new, and there's a new life that I see now in the running game. Caleb's not getting sacked as much. He's in the pocket a little more. His release is a little bit quicker. So, man, I am happy. So just the fact, look, I'll take any win any day of the week. So, man, yeah, thank you for that, man. That was just good. That was just great to see. It really was.
Yeah. I just want to take 1 minute here and say shout out to my Philadelphia Eagles for forgetting to show up in the first half, but making up for it in the second half and getting the win. Because a lot of times when you play that poorly in the first half, you don't have the repertoire, the weapons, and everything to be able to do what we were able to do and come back on the Rams. Big up to the Rams, though, because a lot of people think it's, if you say anything about the game, you're disrespecting the Rams. No. The Rams gave us all we could handle, right? The Rams prepare all off season. Their whole goal was to put a team out there that could beat the Eagles. And they were very close to doing so. But we ripped victory from the jaws of defeat. That's what winners do. That's what Super Bowl champions do.
That's what
we was able to accomplish.
Nice.
So yeah, you got to give teams a little bit of props sometimes.
Hey man, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, man. All right, so we are going into week 4 games here. So in these games, the Thursday night game has happened. Seattle, 2-touchdown lead. They blow it. Kyler Murray, who I affectionately call it the toddler, came out, got his team back in the game, but left too much time on the clock. and Seattle did their thing, got in field goal range, and this time they missed the first one, made the field goal, and won it right at the buzzer, so we didn't have to stay up for overtime, 23-20. So for those who were going to stay up, they probably appreciate y'all. I wasn't going to stay up either way, so good job, Seattle.
Man, me personally, I stopped watching the Thursday night games, man, because they all sucked. The times I was watching, man, they sucked. I couldn't even take it no more, so I started watching. So I just get the recap the next day, and I read an article that I think the players, when they cut the deal to do the Thursday night games, each player gets $10,000 a piece for the Thursday night game. So that's a little, pocket change for them. But yeah, I just think they need better matchups for some reason. For some reason, it's okay. But for the run I was watching in the past couple of years, it doesn't look too good.
This game sucked for about 3 quarters. And in the fourth quarter, it actually did pick up. So I don't even blame you for not watching. I was doing some other stuff and had the game on as well, so I was kind of watching it. But yeah, it sucked for 3 quarters. So, I mean, you're completely right. Like, you're not wrong at all. Yeah, it sucked for 3 quarters. A lot of people probably went to bed before it got good.
Exactly.
You're just so used to how things go. So you just probably say,
You're in the bed calling hogs.
Mm-hmm. So our first game on Sunday. 2-1 Vikings versus the 2-1 Steelers on NFL Network at 9:30 a.m. Which you know what that means. They're across the pond. Boy, Pittsburgh's losing a home game. Sucks to be you, but it happened to us last year. Who you got?
I got the Vikings because I love the Steelers over my backup team. Love the Steelers since I was a teenager, so I love the Steelers. But I hate Aaron Rodgers. I can't deal with that dude, man. So I traditionally would pick the Steelers, but because I got Aaron Rodgers, I can't. It just breaks my heart because I love Mike Tomlin, man. But I'm going with the Vikings on this one.
I'm actually gonna have to go with you with the Vikings too. The reason I'm gonna say I'm going with the Vikings is I feel like the weapon distribution is gonna be better with them. They don't have Aaron Jones, but they're gonna have guys that run the ball, and we know Justin Jefferson is gonna do his thing. We might even get an Adam Thielen sighting this week, so I'm gonna go with the Vikings as well.
Cool, man.
All right, then we got the 2-1 Commanders traveling to the 1-2 Falcons in the Georgia Dome. Georgia. Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going Commanders as well.
Yeah, the Falcons just let themselves lose to the lowly Panthers. At that point, I can't rock with you now.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's, sometimes when something gets tainted, you can't come back from it. So yeah, I want to go with Commanders as well. And Commanders really showed a lot of what their medal was last year. I call him the Slim Reaper, Jaden Daniels, and that and just the fact that, look, real quick before we move on, Magic Johnson. If you get Magic Johnson to own a piece of anything, he's going to give you some good vibes, man, because he's done it with the Commanders. He did it with the LA Dodgers. I mean, the dude is just, what can I say? He got something that a lot of us don't have. So if any investment, any business situation, you get Magic Johnson on board, you good. You good.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, 1 p.m. Eastern. We've got the Saints and the Wish Patty Mayonnaise, or Patty Mahomes, as you guys may call him, and Spencer Rattler going to Buffalo to get annihilated by the Bills. If I was a betting man, I would bet on the Bills in this game, and I would give the points.
Hands down. Yeah, Bills 3-0. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I would be shocked if the Saints even do anything. They can't even scratch their head, let alone try to win some games at this point. So I will go with the Bills. As the saying goes, any given Sunday, but I would say more so the Bills. They just on the roll. They've shown time and time again that they're the team to beat. And I think really the test real quick was going up against the Chiefs last year in the playoffs. I think that was their one to say, you know what, we're going to do better because of that. We're going to do better because of the whole situation. So, I mean, look, if you see those teams up and coming that just do well, that constantly just show you that we can do this and constantly show you that regardless of us losing, look how much work we put in. I go with the Bills.
Then we got 1 p.m. We got the 1 and 2 Browns against the 2 and 1 Lions. So the Browns just had their Super Bowl last week when they got the win. I'm definitely going to go Lions to win this game. I think they win big. Cleveland's traveling as well. So, yeah, it's all lines up Lions.
Yeah, Lions all the way. No doubt about it.
And we got a battle of the defeated teams, the 0-3 Titans at the 0-3 Texans. I think C.J. Stroud finally starts to get it together. Maybe they can protect him a little better because he has been back there looking like David, the original Carr, when he played for the Texans. They have no line, right? Like we're talking about C.J. Stroud, like C.J. Stroud's not a good quarterback. C.J. Stroud has no line. You take Jalen Hurts' line away. You take Patty Mayo's line away. You take anybody's line away from them, and they're going to look like C.J. Stroud back there. But I think this is a game where maybe they can start to get gel a little bit, make some things happen, and slide out with their first victory of the season. So I'm going Texans. And plus, I'm going to pick y'all for 3 weeks. Can we finally win? Thank you.
I go Texas too. It's the classic situation of you just said about Stroud and the offensive line. You got to make the offensive line work. You got to protect your quarterback. You don't want to just dump it on his butt every now and again, and more so then. So you don't want that to happen. So you have to have more strength. So I would go to the Texans, but I totally agree. And I seem to be having time and time again like any other person watching on television or whatever. Protect the quarterback. That's all. Your quarterback. Yes.
Gotta protect him.
Yes.
Then we got an interesting game for those in my area, in the Charlotte area, Charlotteans. We've got the 1 and 2 Panthers traveling to play the 1 and 2 Patriots. I'm gonna throw Charlotte a bone, and I'm gonna go Panthers in this game. I think they want it bad. They got some momentum for finally getting the win. And you talk about a team who wants it. Not saying that the Patriots don't want it, but man, if a fan base could will a team to victory, the Panthers are definitely gonna win this game. Right? They are riding high off that 30-0 win. I think they will be able to get some turnovers off of the Patriots as well. And if the Patriots turn the ball over, they don't play well. So I'm gonna throw the current home city a bone and say the Panthers.
I'm gonna go Patriots on this one. I want to get both teams are 1 and 2. So, but again, when you said about the Panthers have momentum, Patriots, even though it's not without their fearless leader, I think the ghost is still Bills. I'm saying the man's dead, but from the standpoint of his legacy, kind of still looms a little bit around there. And I think it's one of those teams where they can surprise you. They can sneak up on you. So because of their sneakiness, I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay. All right, then we got the 3-0 Chargers versus the 0-3 Giants. Sorry, Giants fans. 3-0 Chargers are going to be getting another win and going to 4-0.
Yeah.
Going Chargers.
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, that's an easy one.
And y'all see the hat on my head, so y'all know who I'm going with the next one. I'll say it, but y'all know who I'm going with. The 3-0 reigning and defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles are going to Tampa Bay to play a Buccaneers team that as of my last looking, it's not expected to have Chris Godwin or their number one receiver this week. So when you're down two receivers, Mike Evans as well, it should be difficult to win this game. The Buccaneers defense has had the Eagles number in the last few years. But I'm going to go Eagles. Y'all know I ain't paying against the Eagles. Go Birds.
Oh, yeah. No, hands down. I'm with you on that one. Super Bowl champs are riding high at 3-0. They'll make it 4-0 after the Buccaneers. I think it'll be a fight. I think it will be a back and forth, but you gotta go with the Eagles, man. There's nothing wrong with watching a team that stays consistent. They can probably do it again. They can probably win the ring all over again, because the chip all over again. That's the momentum that they have. So it goes back. I remember when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was wrestling for the WWE. It was like, "Are you ready to whip some candy ass?" That type of feel to it. So they're about to whip some candy ass going to the Buccaneers, I think. So yeah, it's going to be flying high for the Eagles all the way.
I love it, man. I love it. Whipping some candy ass.
Yes.
I'm with it. Then we've got the 3-0 Colts at the 2-1 Rams. So one thing I'm gonna tell you about these Rams, them boys is hot, right? And like I said before, you could make the argument that they could have won the game. You know what I'm saying? They didn't, but you can make the argument that, hey, this was a team that could have won the game against the Eagles. And you got to kind of look at it and be like, all right, we lost that game. Where do we go from here? Oh, I know one thing we're going to go to. We're going to whoop some ass. And I do believe that that's going to be something that's being looked into by this team. I think they're upset. And I'd hate to be the Colts. On the flip side, though, Daniel Jones has looked like Indiana Jones since he got to the Colts. So this is a hard one to pick. I'm going to say Rams, but I won't be surprised if the Colts find a way to win based on how they've been playing so far. But I'm going to go Rams. Something about the revenge factor that I have to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'll go with the Rams too. I always did like the Rams as a team as a whole, and I think again, you're right. I would not be surprised if the Colts came back to beat them, because really they're almost like similar teams to a degree.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the Rams. That's my first thought when I was going through the picks. So I'm gonna go with the Rams as well.
Then we got the 2-1 Jaguars against the San Francisco 49ers. And whether they have whack and cheese, as I like to call him, Mac Jones playing, or if they have Brock Purdy back, this 49ers team is another team like the Eagles that's just finding ways to win. And they're ugly, but they're winning. And Jacksonville, they got a 2-1 thing. I know they're feeling good about themselves. I want to send them a vibe that I want y'all to listen to in Jacksonville. You know this guy named Brian Robinson Jr.? How about you throw him the ball some? I would greatly appreciate that. My fantasy teams would greatly appreciate that. But you're going to lose this game, but throw the ball to Brian Robinson Jr. Thank you. Going to go 49ers.
Yeah, same here. If Brock is well, and that's lights out. Brock Purdy is the truth. I like his background, I like his spirit, like what he's done for the city. Again, it's like one of those classic situations where you find a diamond in the rough, and the person continues to shine and show their worth and what they mean. And I'm once again talking about the scale. I'm glad they got a chance to pay him, because he was balling out of control, yet he was getting like $1 almost at one point. So, really. So I'm glad that Brock Purdy. Hopefully he'll be able to play by game time and just go in there and does what he does best.
Say he was getting $1 base.
It's $1. Because it's like the trading places, the Dukes.
The sad thing is, you're not really.
How much you want to? How much you want to bet? $1.
Right. Yeah, you're not really lying. He didn't get much. He wouldn't get much at all because he was the last pick. That's crazy.
That's right.
The first 425 game. That's 405 game. The 1-2 Ravens at the 1-2 Chiefs. This is going to be juicy. But I'm going to go ahead and put it to y'all like this. Baltimore lost 2 games they should have won. They're not going to keep losing games that they should win. If they want to be taken seriously, if they want to use this team and move forward and overtake the Chiefs, you need to beat them right now and send them to 1-3, because there hasn't been many teams, if any at all, that finished one, that have started the season 1-3 and made it to not even one, but made it to a Super Bowl, even the playoffs. So hey, this is your week, Baltimore. You either gonna be the one to get knocked down, or you're gonna knock them down. Baltimore, I feel like you got more. Derrick Henry, you need to put some talk on your gloves, and you need to hold that ball like Tiki used to do. Put that ball up like that. You start fumbling it. Run like Tom Tiki used to. Get that win. One Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going with Baltimore too. I think the Chiefs have hit the wall. I think they've hit the wall. They may have some couple of tricks left, but you're getting older. Travis can't even hold on to the ball anymore. Pretty much, he keeps dropping. He got the dropsies.
Yeah.
Mahomes is Mahomes, but I believe I read the stat right. He's their leading rusher at the quarterback position. I'm like, that's kind of unheard of. You shouldn't be doing all that running if you're the quarterback. So if that's the case, then he's not. All the heat's on him for the running position, for the standpoint of how many yards. That's unheard of to me. So for me, I think that it's just a slow spiral downward. We're great at one, and it's still great, a consistent great that they have, or greatness that they used to have. They're armor now. So yeah, but Baltimore get the act together too, because if they don't, I think John Harbaugh, who's the coach of Baltimore, probably looking for a job. You can only go so far because they do the same thing every year. The same thing every year. They get to a point. Lamar's great. You talk about Derrick Henry, but yeah, like I said before, do like Emmitt Smith. Put that, don't keep it out like that. Tuck the ball. Keep it right there, close to your body. If they keep on being the Ravens, their path, yeah, they gotta look for another coach.
Dig it. You got the 1-2 Bears at the 1-2 Raiders. Of course, I know where you're going on this one.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going the same way. I'm going Bears. Yeah. The Bears.
Yeah, exactly. Like my little brother is about his Eagles. I'm the same way about my beloved Bear. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But I will say that I think they need to work on their running game just a little more with the running backs, and I think start using more tight ends too. It's like when they were using more tight ends, it started to pick up a little bit on the offense. So for me, if they use more tight ends in this upcoming game, I think you might see a difference. So yeah, there's going to be Bears on the way, but I just see more a connection from more that position, because that seems to work for them.
And then the 8-20, 2 teams that I want to see both lose, but somebody got to win, or maybe it'll be a tie. It won't be though. We got the 2-1 Packers with the newest addition, one Micah Parsons, with the chance to go back to the Arlington Football Arena. They play the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see a way Dallas wins this game. Micah Parsons will break his neck to destroy this Dallas Cowboys team in this game.
Yes.
I don't see a way. I'm going Packers.
As some of the cartoons I would watch, like Looney Tunes and Daffy Duck, this means war. This means war. This is an all-out war. Micah Parsons is going to come in and run wreck shop. Y'all might as well sit down, Cowboys. Y'all look. Just give him the ball, man, because he's going to run all through y'all. He's going to stop play. It's a done deal. They want to go through the motions, go right ahead. But this is war. This is war, man. So then, I'm not a big Packers fan, but I love Micah Parsons. So yeah, this is war, Doc.
Yeah, destruction and domination is what I'm calling this, because that's what it's going to be.
That's right.
So I want to sarcastically say thank you to AFL for giving us 2 Monday night games. I mean that very sarcastically. On ESPN and ESPN Deportes, we're gonna have the 0-3 Jets at the 0-3 Dolphins. So you can give us a Monday night game between two defeated teams. At this point, I don't think two in that team can beat anybody. I'm gonna go Jets just because the Dolphins will be up by 3 touchdowns and find a way to lose this game. Like I watched them last week, I'm like, bro, you gave that game away. So I don't think that the Jets are a much better team, but I think that they're not just snake bitten. We're just gonna lose because we are who we are.
I really don't care, but for the sake of the program, I'll just pick the Dolphins just for picking sake. I really don't give a two damns about either team, but let me say this as a footnote. I do not like Joe Buck. I'm sorry, I can't. That dude, man, irks my skin. I mean, he started getting the willies and stuff. I'm like, that dude is just and I hate listening to him. I had to put it on mute and put the CC on, just read it sometimes because I don't want to hear his voice. Or I'll call the game myself. I'll just put it on mute and I'll call the game. I'll do it that way sometimes. Yeah, man. It's like, hey, man, I'll be play by play at this point. But yeah, that's just a footnote. I hate Joe Buck. I'm sorry, that dude is just But yeah, I know really no skin in that game as well. But this footnote on that is we know Joe Buck's wife works for ESPN. You got to follow the story. You got to follow the backstory. Yep.
Yeah, it makes sense why he keeps a job.
That rat bastard. Ooh.
I can't stand it either. When he started calling up, like, the worst thing is being like out of the sports bar and Joe Buck is calling the game. You're like, come on, man. Switch to another game.
Yeah, you might as well. Look, man. Joe Buck, I said before on other programs I've done, Joe Buck is that guy in high school who thinks he's cool and he's not. He's that dude.
Yeah.
If you're delusional, Doc, you couldn't trip over cool if you wanted to. That you're just a nerd and a nut. Nothing wrong with nerds, but yeah, nothing wrong with nerds, man. I'm a nerd to a degree. I can sit here in front, but good goddamn night. This dude just, I don't know, just like I said, he gives me the willies, Doc. So yeah.
I can't stand Joe Buck either, man. I really can't. And then the actual Monday night game, the one that starts at 8:15 on ABC, because I'm gonna call it the actual Monday night game. The only people gonna be watching it is Jets and Dolphins fans and Jets and Dolphins haters. Everybody else is gonna find something else to do. We've got the 2-1 Bengals at the 1-2 Broncos. I'm gonna go. I guess I'm gonna go Bengals. I don't feel good about that because Jake Browning is gonna get beat up, and he's not as good as the guy he's replacing in Joe Burrow. So there's gonna be. I'm gonna go Bengals because I think they have enough weapons and they can get enough stops on defense. But I would not be. You know what? No. I'm going Broncos. I'm going Broncos, yeah, because it's going to take Browning a couple of games to adjust. And the Broncos actually do have a good defense. They're 1-2. And I think they're going to be able to put enough pressure on him to negate some of what the $1 million wide receiver duo is going to do. The millions of dollar wide receiver duo. So I'm going to go Broncos, actually. I'm going to go Broncos.
I'll go Broncos too. Is Bo Nix scheduled to start?
As far as I've seen, he is.
Okay. I'm a Bo Nix fan. I like Bo Nix, and Sean Payne a little bit too intense for me, but it is what it is. But he swears by Bo Nix, and I like his play too. I like his intensity. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Broncos as well.
So we're gonna do something special when we have when I have bass on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and say my little stuff I need to do, and then after that, I am going to basically that's all I'm gonna say. So before we get the last word from bass, I'm gonna go and give y'all my little spiel I give you, and then I'm gonna turn it over and let Big Bro have his thoughts. So make sure that you're tuning in every week. Make sure you're liking us. Please share the show. Please comment, even though it's a recorded show. Comment, tell us what you think about what we're talking about. If you agree with our thoughts or not, it's all good. You gotta agree with us. And I'm excited about the future of play callers. So I really would appreciate you guys. Just rock with us, roll with us. Let's make it do what it do. Also, so many other programs that I have. You just go right here. This link right here, Linktree. It'll tell you all the things that I have going on, and it'll be coming up. That'll help you kind of stay in tune. Shout out to Shady Sports Network as well, which is one of the homes of Play Call Sports Talk now as well. And remember, guys, it is never where you start. It is always where you finish. Big Bro, it's on you.
Thank you, little bro. Here with you on the Play Calls Talk. Good people and bad people. We're living in strange times. And sometimes we don't know our left from our right or what's up and what's down. But sports usually is the great equalizer. It's a great escapism. It's great to be a part of, whether you're involved from a standpoint of being on the field or a court, or just watching as a spectator or being a fan. And I think because the temperature of our world right now, sports, I think, has a great leadership role in knowing that something makes sense. Sports makes sense. And it would be nice if the powers that be, who calls them the powers that be, take a page out of sports. Listen, know your surroundings, understand your teammates, understand you have star players, but everybody work collectively together, not separately. There's no I in team. And that's on the court or field and off. Enjoy sports while you can, because to some people it brings peace, to some it brings excitement, to some people may gamble and get some money off of it. But whatever you do, make sports a part of your life, because it is a great thing to be a part of. That's it.
Fair enough, y'all. Fair enough. I appreciate you for coming on. And guys, you enjoy the show every fourth Friday. I will be honored to have on with me my big bro in broadcasting, Chris Bass.
Thank you, bro. Looking forward to next time.
No problem, man. No problem. Good people and bad people. Y'all decide who you are. Make sure y'all back next week. It'll be Cole Johnson, week 1. We'll see you on the flip side. Take it old school.